Good morning from Keflavik International Airport, which is the main gateway to Iceland, about 30 miles away from the capital city Reykjavik. For today's flight, I'm flying the national carrier Icelandair, who I've flown once before on the 737 MAX. But today's trip takes me on board the Boeing 757, a personal favourite of mine. We're heading off to Stockholm in Sweden this morning. Before we get on board, let's take a look around the terminal. Welcome to Edgington Airborne. Let's get going.
The Icelandair check-in area at Keflavik was very easy to find and was pretty quiet when I arrived. I used the self-service kiosk to grab my boarding pass. Of course, this being Iceland, there was no mistaking which airline is most popular here. Security is found on the first floor of the terminal. Let's head through and take a look around airside. Security today was a breeze, and in no time I was able to start exploring the facilities for departing passengers. There are of course a range of shops featuring well-known brands, and if you need winter clothing, well, the airport has you covered. I was pleased to see several power outlets dotted around the terminal to charge your electronic devices. And of course, if you're feeling peckish pre-departure, there is a selection of restaurants to choose from.
So that's a little quick trip around Keflavik International Airport. It's a really nicely designed terminal, but one thing I would say is there's not a great deal of seating at the gate areas. There's quite a few passengers sitting on the floor waiting for their flights to board. Speaking of boarding flights, it's time for me to find my aircraft.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard this Icelandair Boeing 757, named after the Icelandic volcano Magni.
This Boeing 757 aircraft has 8 emergency exits. All exits are equipped with evacuation flags.
I was really excited for this flight of Icelandair after a great experience the previous day on the 737 MAX, but it almost didn't happen, and we've just departed over 2 hours late. I'll tell you a little more about the delay when we arrive in Stockholm, Anyway, Icelandair is of course the national airline of Iceland, and this 757 is the backbone of their fleet, and the aircraft connect Iceland to destinations in Europe and the USA. You'll find when flying with Icelandair that a large number of passengers are connecting through Iceland onto their final destination. I love the 757 and it was one of my favourite aircraft as a child, so let's take a look around what it's like to fly on board this aircraft with Icelandair. This 757-200 has 161 economy class seats and a further 22 seats in business or saga class. The aircraft's around 18 years old and you can see its age in certain areas of the cabin and the toilets, but each passenger does have personal entertainment, which we'll look at a little later on. Economy passengers can purchase snacks and alcohol from the Inflight menu, which of course features some Icelandic products. Tea and coffee as well as soft drinks are provided free of charge, and I went with an apple juice today.
Welcome to the bathroom on board the 757. Very shortly I'll show you around the seat area on this aircraft, what you could expect if you choose to fly with Icelandair.
Now of course the first thing you'll notice is the entertainment screen, and it features USB power and a headphone port to listen to any audio from the entertainment. You can also slightly adjust the angle of the screen for a better view. There's a very generously sized tray table on the 757, plenty of room here for a snack or to do some work, and of course a small area to place your drink in case things get a little bit bumpy. For children, the tray table can be brought closer to you, or of course for slimmer passengers than me. Looking further down the seat, you'll notice the literature pocket, which has got plenty of space in there for personal items, and Icelandair of course provide the safety information card, well worth a read before every flight, your in-flight menu and the in-flight magazine as well. Now at this point of filming, the seat in front was reclined, you'll see it really impacted on my legroom, but overall I found the space available at this seat was pretty good for most of the flight. And here's a slightly better look at the seat with its adjustable headrest. I really like the style of this seat. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Having in-flight entertainment on a European trip is sadly very rare nowadays, so I was really pleased that it's provided by Icelandair. I like the music choice, and you may just see at the top of the screen that I was listening to Depeche Mode, who I'm sure many of my younger viewers have never heard of, but trust me, they're brilliant. Icelandair's movie selection is a little limited, but that being said, extra points have to be given for offering this classic film. If movies aren't your thing, then there's a selection of TV shows to keep you entertained, and you can also spend your time planning what gift to buy for people at home. If like me you're an aviation enthusiast, you probably enjoy the route map, or maybe just enjoy the views from 39,000 feet. I always find in-flight magazines interesting, particularly when it has fleet information as provided by Icelandair. The magazine also contains information on the differences between fare classes, something to consider when choosing your next flight. If you need to keep up to date with what's happening on the ground, Icelandair do offer Wi-Fi on board. Now the current system isn't the fastest, but Icelandair are planning to upgrade this system so that you can follow your favourite YouTuber on social media. Here are the details for my accounts, just in case.
Once again, I want to apologize for the delay on our flight from Keflavik. We hope you enjoyed the flight and the service aboard. Happy holidays.
And with that final message from the flight deck, we're now commencing our descent into Stockholm. Don't forget to stick around till the end of the video for my final thoughts on today's experience, but for now, enjoy the views.
Ärade farþegar, välkommen till Stockholms. Klockan här är 1.
So, welcome to Stockholm after that flight with Icelandair. This is the part of the video I've shared with you my final thoughts on today's trip, starting off in Keflavik. Now, Keflavik Airport, as I touched upon before the flight, is a lovely place, really smartly designed, decent amount of shops and restaurants, but particularly on some of the A gates and some of the C gates that I saw today, there is a bit of a lack of seating for passengers, so do bear that in mind. When we boarded the aircraft, everything seemed to be going well. We boarded on time, it was by bus today. And then after about 15 or 20 minutes, the steps were removed from the aircraft. I thought boarding was complete, not a full flight, fantastic. Then the captain came over the PA system and advised us that unfortunately, due to the really high winds in Iceland this morning, they had to stop boarding and remove all equipment from around the aircraft because it wasn't safe. He said it could be a few hours until we departed. At this point, I was getting a bit nervous due to my connection here in Sweden. After about an hour or so, Icelandair made the decision, and the captain relayed it to us, that as the aircraft itself was ready, although we're missing some passengers, they were going to send us on our way to Sweden. Now that, of course, was a shame for the passengers that are missing, about 40 or so I believe, but for the rest of us it was fantastic, and a really big thumbs up to Icelandair for making what would have been, I'm sure, a very difficult decision. The flight itself, pretty bumpy on departure and then pretty comfortable throughout the rest of the flight. Of course, it's lovely having a free drink on board, and the entertainment system was very responsive and clear, with a decent selection of entertainment, although not the best I've ever seen. One thing I would say is while the seat itself was pretty comfortable, the recline on it did impact on the space that I had available when the person in front of me leant their seat back, and also very narrow. Me and the passenger next to me got very friendly throughout the flight. Overall though, I did have a nice time on board Icelandair today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, please do subscribe to this channel. Only with your support can it continue to grow. Most of all, take care.